These.
Terror. Hunger. Struggle. Oppression. Misery. Survival.
These are all characteristics of my favorite type of fiction called dystopian fiction. Survival's key for this. Dystopian fiction is a fiction where a government creates some kind of imaginary society where everything seems good. But these words are more characteristics of a society. How many of you have ever heard of a book called The Hunger Games? How many of you love The Hunger Games? Excellent. That's a type of dystopian fiction where in that story, the capital, they keep everyone in the districts oppressed while they live life high. And the characters, they always fight to survive. Katniss is a fighter. So what I want to do today is talk to you about 3 other dystopian series where the characters fight for survival and may even be cooler than Katniss. Imagine living in a world where you could hear the thoughts of others. What would you do with the thoughts that you heard? Would you use it to control other people? Would you use it to benefit others? Would you use it to benefit yourself? What would you do if you couldn't turn these thoughts off? Well, welcome to Todd's World in the first book of the Chaos Walking series by Patrick Ness. Todd is a near-grown boy and he's surrounded by the noise. The noise is the thoughts of others, but just the thoughts of men. The leaders in his town told them that the noise was a biological weapon that was created by this species on their planet called the spackle. Not only did this weapon create the noise, but it also killed all the women. One day, Todd finds this quiet place where there's no noise at all. So when he finds this place, he starts to question everything that he believes in. So, will Todd be strong enough to survive when all of his beliefs are questioned? Will you be strong enough to survive if you read the book? You really need to read this first book in the series called The Knife of Never Letting Go. All right, now I want you to close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to picture this. You're in the hot sun, sweat trickling down behind your ears. You can hear noises all around you. Chains are biting into your wrists that are raw and bloody. You can hear bets being made, whips cracking in the air. And you want to be scared, terrified even, but you can't because you have a purpose that you have to stick to and you can't deviate from. All right, open your eyes. Welcome to Blood Red Road by Maura Young and Saba's world. Her world changed when her twin brother is kidnapped by 4 horsemen. So Saba vows that she's going to travel to the ends of the world to find her twin brother. She travels with her little sister. Along the way, Saba and her sister are kidnapped, and Saba is forced to become a cage fighter. Now, this is not your average MMA fighting style. This is fighting to the death. But luckily for Saba, she's pretty tough, and she becomes a crowd favorite, and she becomes known as the Angel of Death. But sometimes that didn't work in Saba's favor because these old gladiators are really wanting to kill her. So, is she going to be able to defeat them, or is she going to have to escape in order to save her brother? She's trying to get out of this forsaken land known as the Dustlands. Really need to read this book as well. Now, I have some pretty awesome trading cards. You want to see them?
Yeah.
My favorite trading card is the Lost Girl. She's the most awesome. I have the Lost Girl, Tamamura, the Bride of Coldwater Spring, the Mechanic, and the Motor City Hammer. They're pretty cool. You know what those cards are worth? Worth a pretty good bit. Probably like the last pack of batteries in Mountainside, which is the setting for Rotten Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. Benny Amore would love to tell you about his town of Mountainside, but in Benny's world, there's no phone, no internet, and you have to get a job by the time you turn 15 to give back to life in the town. Benny's world's a little different from ours since first night. First night, Benny's brother, Tom, takes him away when everyone starts turning into zombies around them. So since that night, there's been a rift between Benny and his brother. But since Benny can't find a job, unfortunately, he has to become a bounty hunter with his brother Tom. Now, Tom's not a legend like the others that are on the cards, like Motor City Hammer and Pink Eye for all the kids, Charlie Pink Eye. Tom's a different legend in his own right. So, as Benny and Tom travel throughout the rotten ruin, they discover things about themselves, and Benny discovers that his way of thinking might not be the same way, and that sometimes monsters are not necessarily undead. So, I recommend, if you want the adventure of a lifetime and to meet 3 of the most awesome characters you will ever meet in your entire life, you really need to read these 3 books.